I really wanted to explore this concept of emergence, which sort of connects to systems thinking and the concept of complexity.
For my senior project, I explored this concept, emergence, in terms of the human body, studying how it is built up from atoms to systems. I combined science and art to tell the story through an illustrated book and gallery installation.
It's certainly a brand new perspective on studying the human body, on studying ecosystems, on studying societies. It appears in so many different places, and to really have this perspective and mode of thinking really sheds new light onto topics that we've looked at in the same way for a very long time. One of the first concepts I thought about, which is how 7 octillion, roughly, atoms work together to create one body. You're approximately just 7 octillion atoms, but somewhere emerges something much more than that. This is actually a photo micrograph that I took while working at Sacred Heart University this summer. I worked in a lab photographing neurons from chick forebrains.
I learned how to dissect out the cells we needed, transfect their DNA with DNA that would code for a fluorescent green protein, and finally use the microscope to capture the images. For their research, they needed hundreds of images taken so that the axons of the neurons, right here and here, could be measured on the computer.
Just to see the cells that make your thoughts possible lit up in blue and green under the microscope was a fantastic experience, and it really allowed me to combine my love of photography and science. This is my drawing of the plasma membrane, its molecular structure with the phospholipid molecules. A drawing of mitochondria, which are organelles inside your cells. It's one of my favorites just because that's what I doodle. In my notebooks, you'll see lots of little drawings of mitochondria. I created the word think out of different neurons. Your neurons make your thoughts possible, but they themselves aren't conscious at all, and sort of where your consciousness emerges and what exactly that is. And then this is another one of my favorites, the cells of your immune system. And I saw the name tags in Staples and just thought, what a great way to get the point across that each cell is not working towards immunity. It actually has its own specific goals. It doesn't have a greater plan to keep you from getting sick. And though they all act as individuals together, they convey your immunity. I created the bones of your body out of the name of each bone, and I actually had to place and shape each letter individually to create the skeleton. It's something I always thought should exist, and I could not find anything like it in many internet searches, so I decided to create one myself, and down to the inner ear bones. And it's really looking at how systems within your body interact. So you have the circulatory system, your muscular system, and your skeletal system. And actually what happens is once your heart pumps your blood throughout your body, by the time it reaches your extremities and has gone through all the capillaries, the pressure created by the pumping of your heart isn't enough to get it back up. So what happens is it's actually your muscles contracting that push your blood through one-way valves in your veins to move your blood back up to your heart. And these systems that have their own distinct functions, and we also often think of them as their own individual components of your body, but really they're quite inextricably linked. And this was sort of the capstone of my project. I did a forensic facial reconstruction. What scientists and artists and forensic anthropologists will use a skull and work forward trying to lay in the different muscles and create what someone's face would have looked like based on the underlying skull. But I actually talked with forensic anthropologists who suggested that its ability to really convey what that person's face looks like is limited because of emergence. There's so many steps in between that just trying to shape in the muscles and using tissue depth markers can't achieve. And so I looked at sort of practice the facial reconstruction and this building up, but also looked at its downfalls. I think a lot of what I've learned about the concept of emergence has come from my interdisciplinary approach, and I'm always going to be interested in photography and graphic design and layout, and I love installing galleries, as painful as it is. But my true passion is science, and I'm definitely going to find a way to combine that further in the future. Biology excites me to the extent that I think other people should be excited about it just as much. And too many people are scared of science that I think it's important to communicate the wonder and amazement that comes with studying biology.
The purpose of knowledge is to appreciate wonder even more. And this really captures my underlying goal and what drew me to science in the first place. And in recognizing this, I finally hit on a conclusion that would cause people to reflect, but also to look forward, to think about the magnificence of their individual body as a system, but to also think about their role within the intricate system we all create together.